Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to the Female and Male Athlete Triad Coalition annual meeting. I'm so glad that you can all attend here today and look forward to talking with each of you. We're going to kind of go around again like we did last year. Before we do that, I did want to make a couple introductions of our executive board members and a few other introductions. So I will go ahead and start with that. I'll start with myself. My name is Aurelia Nateeb, for those that I have not met. I've had the opportunity and honor to be the president of the Female and Male Athlete Triad Coalition, so it's been wonderful. Thank you all. I've loved working with the participants and those in the organization, members, and the executive board. We do meet behind the scenes a number of times through the year, so it's been really exciting to be a part of this for the last few years, and will continue to be involved for sure. I am a professor at the UCLA Division of Sports Medicine, Departments of Family Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery. I'm a team physician at UCLA and director of the bone health practice there, and have been there for a number of years. Without further ado, I want to move on to introduce our coalition coordinator. Maybe we'll raise your hand when I say your name. So Nicole Strock. Nicole, I think you've all seen those members that are on in the meeting here today. I've gotten Nicole's memos and emails through the last year, and we really thank you for all your hard work. And Nicole will be speaking soon with Dr. D'Souza regarding all the wonderful things they're doing with the social media and a website as well. And Nicole's doing her postdoc with Dr. D'Souza and Williams at Penn State. So thank you, Nicole, for all you do. Next, I will introduce Dr. Joy. I think she's, Liz, you can't wave to us because you're,
yes, I am here. I was not quite, hadn't quite gotten my video on yet.
That's okay. So I don't think she needs much of an introduction, but she's the immediate past president of the Female and Male Athlete Triad Coalition and past president of ACSM, I believe 2016. Dr. Joy works at Intermountain Healthcare as the Senior Medical Director of Wellness and Nutrition in the Office of Health Promotion and Wellness, and is an adjunct professor at the University of Utah in the Division of Family and Preventive Medicine. Next is Dr. Hutchinson, Mark Hutchinson. Is he on yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Maybe I'll see if he comes on in a few minutes. So Dr. Williams, Nancy Williams, if you could raise your hand. I think, again, doesn't really need much introduction, but she's our secretary of the Triad Coalition and past president of the Triad Coalition as well. She's professor and the head of the Department of Kinesiology at Penn State University and of the American Kinesiology Association. She is co-director with Dr. D'Souza of the Women's Health and Exercise Laboratory at Penn State University.
Hi, everybody.
I will introduce, there is Mark. Hi, Hutch, I'm going to introduce you if you can sign on. Dr. Hutchinson is our fearless treasurer of the Triad Coalition since its inception. Yeah, he has been faithful for all of these years. And I believe you are now the ACSM Foundation president as of today, I think, or yesterday. And former treasurer of the ACSM Foundation. He's also a former vice president of ACSM, and we look forward to him giving us an update shortly on the finances of the organization. He's also the director of sports medicine at the Department of Orthopedics at the University of Illinois in Chicago and head team physician there, and was on the 2016 Olympic staff in Rio. In 2016. We are going to be talking about Dr. D'Souza in a few minutes. And she has been functioning as our executive director, functioning in that way for a number of years, and has been, the backbone with our Triad Coalition coordinators since the Triad Coalition inception. She's a professor of kinesiology and the graduate program in physiology at Penn State, and director of the Women's Health and Exercise Lab at Penn State University, past president of the Triad Coalition, and was also a recipient of the ACSM 2018 Citation Award. And most of the people that I'm introducing today have had multiple accolades, but I'm abbreviating it since their brief introductions. We also wanted to go around in the circle, but before we do that, is Kristen Bellison here? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, there she is. Hi,
Hi,
Kristen.
everyone. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Actually,
Go ahead.
you're going to get a formal introduction from Liz.
Oh, good.
Thank you so much again for coming again today, like you did last year. We really appreciate your support. And Liz, go ahead and take it away with a formal intro.
All right. Well, Chris and I've been getting used to watching you in the Bahamas, for
I just changed. I feel like I've seen Liz probably like 6 days in a row, and I love her, so that works out for the best. And Tosh has been on my radar for the last few days.
So tonight, apparently Mary Jane is in the Bahamas. So
Yeah,
at least
someone's gotta be
somebody
there.
is.
Yeah.
Well, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Kristen Bellison. I'm sure all of you on the call know that Kristen is serving as the Chief Executive Officer for the American College of Sports Medicine. She's been in that role now for over a year, so you're no longer a newbie anymore, Kristen.
True. I'm have no more excuses. Yes.
But for those of you who may have missed her introduction last year, we went through an extensive search process, and Kristen was by far and away our top choice to step into this role. And prior to joining the American College of Sports Medicine, she served in a number of roles, including Chief Operating Officer for the American Osteopathic Association. And she has a very deep history in organizational leadership. She has her MBA from the University of Dayton. She was a Division I collegiate athlete. She is just perfectly poised to lead ACSM into its next chapter. She's a passionate supporter of our work in the female athlete triad. And I'll just add my note of thanks, Kristen, for joining us this evening. The Female and now Male Athlete Triad Coalition has been a stalwart organization that has really been leading in science and clinical care, education around the Female and now Male Athlete Triad Coalition. And obviously, ACSM is an incredibly strong partner for that work going forward. So thank you again for joining us this evening.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
Liz.
you
I'm
so
glad
much.
to be here. Thank you. That was very kind. Thank you.
And now Mary Jane's going to lead the intros, going to go around on the Zoom and lead that part so that we can. Sometimes it's difficult to follow on the Zoom. So go ahead, Mary Jane.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for coming. We'd like to really get to know everyone that's at the meeting and take a minute to have you introduce yourself. So let's start with Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Krause. I am a PM&R sports medicine physician at Stanford Children's Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Center. I've been with the coalition, Female Athlete Triad Coalition, for I guess, what is the official name? Female and Male Athlete Triad Coalition. Let me get it right. For several years, and it's an honor to be back. I apologize, I'll be in and out. I'm in Ohio right now. My niece is turning 4 today, and I also have another new niece that was born a month ago. So I'm coming from afar, out of my normal roots, but I'm just really excited to be here again. Just a little bit of background. I've been working on a female athlete program within Stanford and been updating Aurelia about this and trying to find ways to really improve the dissemination of information of a lot of information relating to the female athlete, and trying to develop a platform around that. And I just reached out to Nicole on ways to kind of pull in the Female Athlete Triad Coalition, Female and Male Athlete Triad Coalition work that they've been working on the website so far. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to really kind of collaborate and network and find ways to kind of study this too. So hopefully there are opportunities within this group to really understand ways to implement this type of study kind of on a broader sense as we start to kind of get some of the educational materials. And really a lot of that foundation is based on what the coalition has done on the website. And so big props to the group, even within the last year, on what they've done. And sorry for the long-winded, but there's a lot of appreciation for this group, and thank you. But I apologize, I will be in and out throughout the meeting today.
No, thanks for coming, Emily. We appreciate that. And we'd love to talk with you about educational initiatives. We've been doing a lot of different things, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So thanks, and welcome. Emily Ricker.
Hi, I'm Emily Ricker. I've been with the Female Athlete Triad Coalition for about 10 years now, which I feel like is hard to believe. But I'm happy to be back again this year, even if it's virtually. I always love meeting with you all. I'm currently serving as a scientist with the Consortium for Health and Military Performance at the Uniformed Services University. Originally Bethesda, I'm now fully remotely working out in Bend, Oregon. And my current research focuses are on female-specific issues for military women. So kind of branched out from the Female Athlete Triad that I was studying at Penn State with Dr. D'Souza, but still well within the roots of women's health. And I'm excited to see what we have in store for the meeting today.
And she was a past coordinator of the coalition. So
Yes.
happy to have you here today, Emily. Heidi, welcome, Heidi.
Hello, hello. Pleasure to be here. Thanks. Heidi Skolnick. I work with Dr. Marcy Goolsby, who I see is on the call as well, at the Women's Sports Medicine Center at Hospital for Special Surgery. And then I also have my own practice where I oversee the performance nutrition at the Juilliard School of Performing Arts and the School of American Ballet. And so you can imagine that I am knee deep in the triad. I also created, so I was in the room when Dr. Barbara Drinkwater first threw out this theory that she had of this connection that was going on, and we really need to look at this more. Like, what is that, 40 years ago already now, 30 something. So I've been doing this a long time, and actually I created a resource for any of you interested working with the triad called the Athlete Triad Playbook, geared toward helping practitioners in their work with triad athletes. And so my area is is sports nutrition, and I don't really do research. I'd like to read the research you all create and try to apply it in the real world settings. So thank you all for that.
And thanks. Heidi's been helping us on the nutrition task force for the coalition, which Michelle's going to tell us a lot about in a little bit. So that's great.
An incredible group of talented, dynamic people with just great minds doing great things. So,
well, thanks, Heidi. We appreciate all your help. Dr. Nichols, a past president of the coalition. Oops.
All right, I'm unmuted. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see some,
Hi.
I was going to say old faces, but no, you know what I mean. People that I haven't seen for some of you for several years. So yes, so I've been a member of the coalition for, I was just sitting here trying to think how many years. Time goes by way too fast. I'm now emeritus faculty from San Diego State University, where I, along with Mitch Rao, who is on the call, and Michelle Barrick, who's a former student of mine, now professor at CSU Long Beach. We, for 11 or 12 years, collected data and analyzed and published on the existence of the triad among high school athletes. And we continue to do that work. I feel like it's sort of a third generation because two of Michelle's graduate students have recently published papers from our data set back collected, during those 11 years of, I don't know, 2000, I don't know what it was, Michelle will be able to tell you, but in the early 2000s. So my work really now, and after leaving STSU, I moved across town to UC San Diego, where I'm in the School of Public Health, and within the, well, now in public health. Prior to that, we were in the School of Medicine and Family Medicine, but now there's a new School of Public Health, so that's where I reside. And my work has really moved more toward education, student education and community, and more toward older adults. So I've been working in practical approaches to fracture prevention among community dwelling older adults in the San Diego County. So that's and I can't believe it. It'll be 10 years in August that I've been at UCSD. So time goes by, but anyway, nice to be here for a while. I do have to, I'm in between overlapping meetings, so I will be signing off early. So anyway, welcome to any new members.
Great to have you, Jane.
Thank you. Yeah, great to see you guys. So.
Dr. Misra, we're happy to see you here tonight.
Yeah, good to see everybody. I'm sorry, I have my phone and my laptop on because you can't hear me through my laptop. You can only hear me through my phone, so it's kind of complicated. But so it's wonderful to be here and to see everybody.
And Dr. Misra is at Massachusetts General Hospital, the chief of pediatric endocrinology, and just done some amazing RCTs related to the female athlete triad and bone. So we are so excited to have you be a part of our team. So thanks, Marty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kristen Colton, Dr. Colton.
Hi, I am currently a postdoc at the University of Pittsburgh, where I'm primarily focused on the effects of physical training on bone adaptation in exercising in military populations. I've been a member of the coalition for about 5 years now as a former student of Dr. D'Souza and Dr. Williams, and also was formerly one of the coalition coordinators. So it's great to be here.
Great to have you, Kristen. Thank you. Dr. Barrick.
Hello, everyone. Really happy to be here and just meet together to talk about all the important work of the Triad Coalition. So Michelle Barrick, I'm an associate professor of nutrition and dietetics at Cal State University, Long Beach. And I've been a member of the coalition, for a number of years, probably about 10 years now as well. And I was actually first introduced to the Triad. So I've been studying the Triad since a grad student in 2005, 2006 with Dr. Jean Nichols and Dr. Mitch Rao, and was very fortunate to be involved in a study that they had already started and had been well, on the way into this really great work in high school athletes, looking at the female athlete triad and injury. And what was fortunate to work on some data collection focused specifically on female cross-country runners, female endurance runners. But I was actually first introduced to the triad as a collegiate athlete at UCLA by Dr. Aurelia Nativ. I was fortunate enough to be a participant actually in one of her studies on the triad, her early work starting in the late 90s. So yeah, I just was a beneficiary of her outreach and on that topic and just really was impacted by that. And yeah, so from being involved in that project, learned a lot and just got really, really excited about studying more and learning more about the triad and nutrition. And yeah, just it's stuck ever since. And I've been continuing work in that area ever since.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Kate Fahey.
Hello, I'm the primary care sports fellow, or one of the 3 at UCLA this year, about to graduate in a month. I'll be going to University of Washington in a couple months and joining faculty there. Clinically, my interests are women's health and along with sports medicine. And then I've had the chance to do research with Dr. Nativ and Dr. Fredrickson, and I'm hoping to continue doing research in the triad in the future. So very
It's
excited.
great to have you and congrats. Dr. Yingling.
To fumble with my mic. Vanessa Yingling, I'm an associate professor at Cal State East Bay. I've been in and out of the coalition. My bone focus right now is looking at muscle function tests and predicting bone strength, more of a community tool. But something that Emily mentioned, I'm really interested in the education piece now because I did a bone and exercise course over the spring semester and had a few collegiate athletes, and they kept saying first, like, wow, I didn't know there was so much to know about bone, because they get very little in A&P. And then also that they didn't really hear about in high school the triad. And so I think it's really, I guess I was, once you're immersed in something, you forget, you think everybody knows it. And I think everybody doesn't. So I think the work here is really important. And I look forward to hearing what the rest of the meeting holds. Thank you.
Love having you here. So thanks a lot, Vanessa. Appreciate it. Dr. Ireland, it's great to have you.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I'm Mary Lloyd Ireland. I was privileged to publish this book with Aurelia, published in 2002. Somebody said time flies. Well, it really does. So I'm, I guess, the orthopedist, female orthopedist in this group, and Dr. Hutchinson is the only other orthopedist probably. And I really sense, even though we're not together, a lot of collaboration here. And my goal is to increase awareness of the triad in our athletes, our athletic trainers, particularly residents, orthopedic residents. I oftentimes say you may not have seen it, but it's seen used. So some of these playbooks that might help us diagnose it early, I think is something from the clinical aspect. And I'm excited to say that I'm involved in supporting through the College of Health Sciences, something called the Active Women's Health Initiative at the University of Kentucky. And Kentucky is a very overweight, more on the overweight side. Obviously, there are some athlete triad issues too, but we want to get fitter and better. And if girls can push that to to their adults, their parents, their aunts, their uncles, I think that's a good thing. So we've got a program, Girls Can, and something that we hope to, through even ACSM, take that more in different areas of the country. So hopefully we can collaborate with that and work on this Girls Can brand and get girls to be empowered to do whatever they want to do. They can be leaders, they can be in shape, they can push their families, and they can be doctors, even orthopedists and researchers.
That's fantastic. And yeah, we should definitely chat about that. Love that. So thank you so much. Marcy, Dr. Goolsby.
Hi, I literally just pulled into my driveway, so perfect timing. I'm Marcy Goolsby. I'm at HSS in New York. Had the opportunity to train under Aurelia Nativ, who brought me to a Triad Coalition meeting, I think in like 2007 or 2008. I've kind of been in and out of being able to attend previous meetings because of my responsibilities as a team physician with the WNBA team. So I'm the medical director of the Women's Sports Medicine Center at HSS and do a lot of triad and stress fracture care in my clinical practice.
It's great. Thanks a lot, Marcy. Glad to have you here tonight. Emily Lundstrom.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm eating dinner right now, so forgive me, but I am a first-year PhD student with Nancy Williams and Dr. Mary Jane D'Souza, and I have been studying the Triad since my first year at Penn State, and I'm very excited to be here, so looking forward to a great meeting.
Thanks, Emily. Great to have you. Let's see, Jane Chung, please.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jane Chung. I am a primary care pediatric sports medicine physician at Scottish Rite for Children in Dallas, Texas. I've been a member of the Triad for a few years now, on and off. I think I attended my first meeting with Amanda Weiss Kelly, who I did my sports fellowship with years back. So I really enjoy learning about all the research that the coalition does. And I actually started holding a female athlete triad clinic in my practice, which I hold once a month with our sports registered dietitian, and kind of growing that practice. And I just feel like it's such an important field to provide education and knowledge for our young female athletes. So I appreciate everything the group does, and I'm interested, very interested and looking forward to what the meeting holds tonight.
It's good to have you, Jane. So thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Cheryl Hostenak, I think from American Bone Health Alliance.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Cheryl Hostenak. I'm the executive director at American Bone Health. I took over this role in January of this year, and am very interested in getting involved with the coalition. I know that my predecessor, Kathleen Cody, had been involved in the past, and we are, for those who don't know, we are a community-based education organization, and we are really looking at how we can expand down to younger people with education for how to build and keep strong bones for life. So of course, educating teenagers is super important, and really trying to inform children and teenagers about the Triad and how important it is for your nutrition in to match your exercise out. So I'm really glad to be here and really looking forward to seeing what is discussed here.
Thank you. It's so great to have you, Cheryl. So welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, have you left, or can you say hello before you go? No, we missed Michael. Okay. Teresa.
Hi all, my name's Teresa Swainer. I just graduated from Penn State this past May with my bachelor's degree in kinesiology. And I've been lucky enough to work with Dr. D'Souza and Dr. Williams the past few years, working on content for the website and social media, and this past year getting to learn a little bit more about the research and all that goes into it. So I'm very excited to be here, and yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you for all the work you do for us. You've been really fantastic. Mitch, Dr. Raw.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Rao. I am a physical therapist and professor at San Diego State University. I'm the director of our DPT program down here. I am the third wheel of Barrick and Nichols, and my area has largely been running injuries and how the Triad connects to those. And that's how I met up with Jean and then Michelle. And we're still doing work here at San Diego State at the high school level. And I actually have a few studies that should be coming out fairly soon with high school females, and as it connects to running injuries. And I might just be able to beat Dr. Ireland in that I have a book too, female athlete, but mine is signed by Aurelia. May of 2003, and Aurelia was very kind and gentle to kind of bring me into the fold of the early days of this. And forever thankful because very inspiring back then. I just want to say that, Aurelia.
That's great, Mitch. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Great
That's
to have
great.
you here. Thanks for coming.
Karen Van Bach.
Hi, my name is Karen Van Bach. I'm one of the primary care sports medicine faculty at the University of Colorado, here in clinic, finishing notes while we talk. I've been a coalition member since Suzanne Hecht pulled me in when I was a fellow 5 or 6 years ago. And yeah, enjoy teaching in my clinical practice, seeing and doing a lot of women's health and sports medicine, care of endurance athletes, hopefully some injury prevention, and just really appreciate the work that this group does.
Dr. D'Souza, I don't think we can hear you. I think you may be muted.
Okay, sorry. Let's say hi to Tiffany Bowen.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Bohan. I'm here in Columbia, Missouri. I work at the University of Missouri and I do primary care sports medicine. I got pulled in by Marcy Goolsby. Hi, Marcy. And I also know Dr. Nativ. I rotated out there during residency and did 2 weeks out at UCLA and loved it. I did my fellowship at HSS, which is where I met Marcy. I am the one female primary care sports med physician here at University of Missouri. So I do a ton of women's health and mainly take care of football, swimming, and diving. But as the one female, I see a lot of the female athletes. So appreciate this group and being a part of it, and for Marcy and Dr. Nativ for pulling me in.
It's great to have you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining. Dr. Meita Arujo from Brazil.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maita. I'm from Brazil. I'm here with Sophia. Hi, Sophia. Say hello. I'm gynecologist and I'm sport physician also. And I work with female athletes in Brazil. And I have research about the female athlete triad. And I'm very happy to meet you everybody again. Nice to meet you again, Dr. Mary Jane.
It's great to see you, Dr. Meita. She's
Thank
doing
you.
fantastic things in Brazil, fantastic initiatives. And this is our second year having her with us. So it's a pleasure. Absolute
Thank you.
pleasure. Andrea Kussman.
Hi, everyone.
Andrea, we have a really bad connection.
I'm a primary care sports med physician up here at Stanford. Oh, can you text?
We can. You are cutting in and out a bit. No problem, Andrea. Maybe when you get a better connection, we can try again. Christine Bolus.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Bolus. I just finished my first year of my PhD with Dr. D'Souza and Dr. Williams. I guess, became aware of the Triad as a high school and college athlete at UC Berkeley. Then coached high school cross country for a little bit, so kind of saw it from the other side. And yeah, I've really enjoyed the first year of my doctoral training at Well, and very excited to get involved with all that you do, and very excited to kind of tell you guys all about the stuff that we've been working on so far.
Thanks, Christine. Okay, that's everybody, Dr. Nativ.
Andy, did you want to try one more time? If not, I'll briefly.
Is this any better?
Oh. I think I'll briefly present.
No?
Andy. Oh,
Sorry.
that's a little better. That's better. Go ahead.
It was better? Okay. So I'll keep it brief because I'm cutting in and out, but I'm primary care sports med at Stanford. I work with a lot of the Stanford athletes, male and female, that have the Triad. Been a member since my mentor, Dr. Nativ, of course, pulled me in when I was in training, and I really appreciate everyone's work in the group.
All right, thank you all for your introductions. I really look forward to, hopefully we'll have some more time at the end where we can share ideas. And you know, this part is, you know, is my favorite part, is meeting everyone and seeing you again. For those, most of you, we all know each other, but there are always new faces each year, and discussing our mutual interests with regards to the Triad also at the end in the open forum. All right, well, next on the agenda, I am delighted to announce who the Executive Board of Directors has nominated for our presidential nominee, and it is Dr. Michelle Barrick. So we're very excited. Yay! She introduced herself earlier, but she did forget a couple of accolades I just wanted to add. She has been very involved with the Triad with her work. Basically, that's her life work, Triad related issues, especially with the adolescent athletes, specifically, especially with runners, also with male adolescent athletes as well. And she's been doing that. She's actually, I would say that, you know, it started with Dr. Nichols and Raw and with regards to the adolescent population, and has really continued a lot in that area in addition to the college population. She's contributed greatly, and now is a teacher and associate professor, as she mentioned, at Cal State University, Long Beach. She's been very involved with the Triad Coalition and has been the lead, which she'll talk about in a few minutes, to the Triad Coalition newly formed Nutrition Task Force. And most recently, as of just this week, announced that she was appointed as the ACSM Fellow. So congratulations, Michelle. And we are excited to have you on the ballot. So the way it works with our organization is that we do have the members vote. So we'll have a few voting items. And there is also the possibility for members to state if they're interested in running as well. And they can submit that to Dr. Nicole Strock. She'll provide her email address. I think most of you already have it, but if you're interested in being on that nomination as well, that will be reviewed by the Executive Board of Directors. In addition to, so again, thank you, Michelle, for accepting the nomination. And in addition, the other items, I mentioned earlier that that Dr. D'Souza has been, you know, one of the main backbones of this organization, and she's functioned as executive director. So on the ballot, we're officially having her have that title, which she earned a long time ago, but we will include that on the ballot as well for the official executive director of the Triad Coalition position. So thank you again, Dr. D'Souza, for all that you've been doing for our organization, and for we're excited for all the additional things that you'll be able to do, and just thank you. And then lastly, on the ballot, we're also, the Executive Board of Directors wanted to have the coalition coordinators be on the Executive Board of Directors. They attend the meetings, but they've never really had that officially in the bylaws. So we do follow our bylaws religiously and have changed them a significant amount thanks to the board. So that will be part of, if everyone agrees to that, when we pass around the ballot, then the coalition coordinator will be part of the Executive Board of Directors as well. So those are the items that we'll be sending out within the next week or so, and we'll have approximately 2 weeks to vote for the members. So please keep a lookout for that, and we look forward to moving forward with these positions. Thank you. All right. Next on our agenda is the update on some of the Triad Coalition work. And before I have Dr. D'Souza and Nicole talk about all the wonderful things with the social media and the website, I'm excited to announce that we just recently got a project that we've been working on for a number of years, accepted for publication, and that is the male athlete triad paper. It initially was a very large paper that we decided to break it up into 2 papers. So it is a coalition consensus statement. And the 2 papers include number 1, the paper 1 is the definition and scientific basis. And the second one is the diagnosis, treatment, and return to play of the male athlete triad. And I want to mention and acknowledge the authors as well as the expert panelist members. So the authors, thanks to Michael Fredrickson, Mary Jane D'Souza, Nancy Williams, Liz Joy, Michelle Barrick, Madhu Misra, Andy Koosman, Emily Krause, and Kristen Colton. Thank you so much. It's been a number of years of work on this, so we're very excited to get it in print shortly in the Clinical Journal of Sport Medicine. Our expert panelists, in addition to a number of the co-authors, includes Dr. Graham Close, Dr. Karsten Kohler, Dr. Adam Tenforty, and Dr. Amy Hsu. They were part of this roundtable that we had in conjunction with the ACSM meeting back in 2017. And then, basically started the writing at that time. We held a symposium that year at ACSM as well, and look forward to the publication, hopefully within the next month or 2. Next, I will let Dr. D'Souza and Nicole take it away with the exciting components of our coalition, which a lot of it has been focusing on our wonderful social media and our website. So take it away, and Nicole has a great presentation for us.
Thank you. I really have to congratulate Nicole on leading the effort with our other grad students and a cadre of undergrads led by Teresa Swainer, who you met earlier. And they've really done an amazing job developing fantastic projects. And I'm going to let Nicole tell you what we've been working on.
Okay, I'm pulling up my screen right now. All right, can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we've been busy the past year. So I'm excited to show you what we've been doing in terms of education outreach and some additions to the website. So social media is our main way of getting information out to younger populations, but as you'll see, our demographic for some of our social media accounts is a little surprising. We're starting to hit an older demographic, well, not older, but I mean, not typical. So I think it's pretty exciting that we're hitting some people that I didn't necessarily anticipate we would. So we have 3 main social media accounts. Instagram is our #1 focus at this moment. You'll see in a second why. We also have a Twitter account and a Facebook account. So first, starting with Instagram, we currently have just under 1,000 followers, which is a drastic increase compared to last year, almost 300%, which is awesome, exciting, surprising. We've been working really hard to put together information and posts that are more education-based, that have references, informative posts for the general population. As you can see, most of our current followers are female, so vast majority are female. What you'll see is about a quarter are between the ages of 18 and 24. And then actually almost half of our followers are between the age of 25 and 34. So that was a little surprising for me when I was looking at the breakdown over the past couple of days. Moving to some of our most successful posts, we have done some educational videos, which I'll show a very brief clip in the coming slides. We've had some really wonderful undergrads who I'll highlight in a bit, who have been working so diligently and have put together wonderful information. And one of the most popular posts that we've had was recently an educational video that was just such a creative way to put forth what the Triad is. It was essentially taking us on a journey of the Triad and how we could get to the Triad as if you were using the Maps feature or Waze feature on your phone. We also had a pretty successful post earlier in the year that was dealing with body image. So we do see that a lot of individuals have interacted with our posts that deal with this body image mental health aspect, which is why we're going to be moving into some of that later on, as we'll explain. Twitter, less of a following on Twitter. Also, the environment of Twitter is much different. This is more of a scientific base. And so the posts that we're creating are for Instagram, and we're trying to put them onto Twitter just to see if anyone bites. But we have had quite a bit of impressions, so people that actually see our posts. And as you can see, again, we've increased quite dramatically, but we didn't start out with many followers to begin with. So hopefully we can keep that up in the future. Some of our most successful posts, again, have been dealing with eating disorders, mental health, that kinds of posts. So one particular was during the National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. And then we also introduced the male athlete triad, and that was another very successful post that we had. In terms of the website, I was able to pull some of the information over the past month. As you can see on the left, Instagram is by far the most popular way that people will access our website. Then we have other referral sites, Twitter, Facebook, and Google Scholar. We have a lot of new visitors coming to the site, particularly in the past month. About 84% of new followers are coming. And most people, well, I would say it's a pretty even split between mobile and desktop visits. So pretty good turnout coming to athletetriad.org. We also have been getting a lot of hits from across the world, which I'm very excited about. Of course, the vast majority of our hits from the past month have been within the United States, but we're also getting some in Europe as well as Asia and Australia and New Zealand. So pretty exciting that we're getting our information out there. I am actually going to toss it over to Michelle, and I'm surprising you with this one, Michelle. There's about 3 slides if you want to go over a little bit of what you've been leading for the nutrition task force, and just tell me when to move forward for the slides. And
okay, great, thank you. So it's been a wonderful experience working with a team of dietitians, and Dr. D'Souza really was the visionary for this group, and she asked if I would be open to working with a group of dietitians to really increase the nutrition outreach and awareness educational materials with the coalition. And I was very excited to take that opportunity and really work together with dietitians in the field that were so experienced and so intertwined in a number of professional organizations, varying levels of practice, whether with collegiate, whether with professional, private practice, associations with SCAN, with the Academy. So it's just with CPSDA, that's the Collegiate and Professional Sports Dietitian Association. So it's just been a great experience. So just a introduction to the members of the task force who have been involved and come together through multiple meetings through this year to discuss the topics that we have been interested in pursuing with the task force. So Heidi Skolnick, who is here today, so thank you, Heidi. Yasi Ansari, Kayla Martin, she's with Penn State Athletics. Yasi actually was one of my students actually at Cal State Northridge when I first began teaching, and she's gone on to work as a team dietitian at UCLA, UC Berkeley. She's a spokesperson of the Academy of, with the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics currently, and she also currently works now at UCLA with eating disorders and disordered eating. Francis Dyson is at Duke University. He's one of their team dietitians. He was also one of my students at Cal State Long Beach. Roberta Anding is so highly experienced and impactful in areas related to the triad, related to dietetics with SCAN, sports dietetics. So she's just such a impactful member and has so many just wonderful ideas and suggestions for outreach in terms of our nutrition and continuing education, just so many original ideas that we're really excited to be pursuing and working with Katie McInnes as well as Riley Beatty. So they're also collegiate sports dietitians. So yeah, so it's just been really wonderful to work with this great group of sports dietitians. So yeah, next slide. So just put together just some informal objectives in terms of our work and goals this year. So mainly to develop nutrition materials for the coalition website and the social media pages. So focused on handouts, infographics, fact sheets. And I counted from our meeting minutes about 20 different topics that we have, wanted to work on. And a lot of these meetings have been brainstorming sessions in terms of just so many ideas and trying to prioritize, the focus. And so, yeah, so there's been a number of types of things that we've been working on. So, but yeah, it's mainly been focused on currently handouts, infographics, and fact sheets for both the website and Instagram page. Other objective to increase awareness of the role of nutrition in the treatment and prevention of the female athlete triad, and that's through also the materials for the website and the social media pages, and as well as serve as a resource for dietitians in the field on topics related to the female and male athlete triad. And I think at one of our more recent meetings, just in terms of our materials and focus for the Instagram page is to really serve as that resource for dietitians that go to in terms of energy availability, relationships between energy availability, endocrine effects, bone, just to have this as a go-to site with evidence-based, reputable, obviously well-researched information in all of these topics. For dietitians. Some of our current projects, so we have some fact sheets, a lot of interest in outreach to parents and coaches with information on the female and male athlete triad. We have a handout currently on that they're working on with the comparing the female and the male athlete triad, so similarities, some differences now with the position statement that will be coming. So just to kind of keep up with that in terms of that information, recipe handouts. So just really practical information, cost analyses, just a focus on recipes that are easy and that will be, having ingredients that are cost aware for athletes, especially student athletes, collegiate athletes. There was a lot of desire from the dietitians to have recipes with ingredients that are nutritious, but also very accessible. And so I have some examples of what we've been working on, as well as tips for enhancing meals and snacks. So just a focus on energy availability, optimizing energy status as it relates to the triad. Next slide. So yeah, so here's just some of our materials that we have started with and we're working on and hope to have coming to the page. There was, Nicole had suggested a Fueling Fridays post, so that every Friday there would be a nutrition post, so a recipe that would come out, a blurb from a handout that would be linked then to the coalition website. So we have some of our recipes. So again, just focusing on really being really visual, showing the ingredients before and then the recipe after. The bottom corner, it's a little hard to see because of the size, but there's a cost analysis in terms of price per serving. And the price per serving for these recipes are, about $1 or $2 or less. So just to see that we can have this energy and nutrient dense food with hopefully being very cost aware and cost sensitive. And then on the right, we have just one of our handouts. I have some students also at Cal State Long Beach, some master's students in nutritional science, and they've been very helpful in terms of working on these, and we've worked on them together. So yeah, on the other, on the right-hand side, you see the tips to enhance meals and snacks. And yeah, just so tips in terms of energy and nutrient dense ingredients to increase the energy density of snacks, veggies, sandwiches, wraps, protein foods to focus on, again, with a focus of being very visual. So yeah, we have a lot more that we're working on. So we're excited to have more of this information come out over the next few months to the next year.
Thanks, Michelle. Okay, so we're gonna go over some more of the website additions that we've been working on for the past year. Okay, so hopefully these work. I'm just gonna I did these screen records on my phone, so hopefully they work. We have added some more detailed information for the male athlete triad portion of the website, along with specific references, so that this could be a nice repository of important information that we have for the male athlete triad. We've done the same thing for the female athlete triad, making sure that we're citing everything so that this is a nice reference for people to go and visit when they go to our website. We've also been collecting a bunch of videos, some that have been done by our students that have been working with us, undergraduates at Penn State, as well as we've had some people who have allowed us to put their videos up online. There's a wonderful video from Katie Brown, who had basically allowed us to put it online. And Dr. D'Souza also wanted me to share, hold on one second, one of the videos. We're only going to watch a brief clip of it because it is a little bit on the longer side. So give me one second.
But it is such super fun video that students from my fourth year class created. And I just think it's so fun that I wanted to share it with all of you, at least as much as we can,
yeah,
give it maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, so give me one second. See if that pulls up. Okay, can we see this?
Yep.
Okay, hopefully it's not too loud. I'll try and adjust the volume real quick.
Go for a drive. The destination, the Female Athlete Triad. Your drivers are Annabella Tier and Emily Kirkham. Join us for the ride. Our location of the Female Athlete Triad has been around since 1992, with an abundance of research studies teaching us what we know today. It is characterized by 3 criteria, which will affect our body's performance and health: energy availability, menstrual well-being, and bone strength. Are you at risk for reaching our destination of impaired health? The Female Athlete Triad has many prerequisites, such as your genetics, an inadequacy in caloric intake, participating in a leanness sport or sport that focuses on aesthetics, dysfunction of the menstrual system, menarche occurring at an age of 15 or older, and more. Our first stop, the town of energy. The energy that we choose to intake determines whether or not you are at risk for an energy deficiency to occur. Depending on the ratio of caloric intake to caloric expenditure, an energy deficiency may be our next stop. This inadequate energy intake can be brought upon with or without disordered eating. Watch out! Energy deficiency is straight ahead.
Okay, so that was just a little taste of what we have created. You can watch the whole thing if you go online. You can go to the Education Center, to the videos, and you'll see all of the videos that we've been working on. Again, we've had wonderful students who have been dedicating their time to this, so we are indebted to them, and I'll list them off in a couple of slides. Okay, so let me go back and share our presentation again. Okay. So we've had several additions, and let's see here. Oh, it's going to go through all these. Okay. So just as a little reminder, we do have some benefits that are for members only. So starting last year, we created a members only resource tab where we have a couple of different options of educational pamphlets that are available for you to download. So I will show you those. The first is a trifold for the female athlete triad, and it's 2 sides, so we've only shown you 1 side here. The next is a male athlete triad. So again, same thing, going over information regarding the male athlete triad, pamphlet on menstrual disturbances, different types of menstrual disturbances that can occur, as well as what it looks like to have a healthy ovulatory cycle. In order for you to access these, I hope that you'll renew your membership. So for students, it's $15 per year. This has been reduced from previous years. It used to be $30. And then for professional memberships, we have the option to do $55 a year or to do $90 for 2 years. Once you renew your membership, I'll be able to send you the password, or you might already have it if you've renewed your membership, to be able to access some of these. And the projects that I'll be discussing in a little bit, we hopefully will add some of them as more members only options. We also have added some donation abilities to our website. So we can have individuals donate, and we have different levels for donation: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, as you can see outlined here. We also are offering or hoping that some organizations or corporate businesses might consider donating to our cause, again, through a different tiered system: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. We would love to be able to highlight anyone who has donated to our website within the website, particularly if we have an organization or a corporation, we could link to their website and whatnot. So you could make the donation online. So we do have some ongoing projects. And again, I've been so lucky to be able to work with just a wonderful group of students. It has grown now. So not only do we have undergrads from Penn State, we now have some students from Cal State Long Beach and UCLA. So we're steadily growing, and the creativity from this group is just awesome. It's inspirational to work with them every week to come up with. They've been doing the grunt of this, so they've been doing a wonderful job. So over the past few months, there are several projects: Educating the Educators, which is, I'll explain in a little bit, essentially a lesson plan that someone could take and be able to teach a group of people about the triad. We also have a similar one for coaches. We would like to have the coaches be through a national organization, which I'll explain in a second. We also want to update some of the particular web pages within the website. So we wanted to add a mental health and triad. We know that disordered eating disorders are very important in the cause of the triad, but also mental health, comorbidities, anxiety, depression, we know now are also involved. So we have plans to update some of the web pages. In terms of Educating the Educators, again, this is a course, a PowerPoint presentation-based course with lesson plans that could be taught in a high school. And it's essentially a resource that is all-inclusive for an educator to be able to teach young students about the athlete triad and how it impacts the body. So again, lesson plans, 5 lesson plans, about 30 minutes in length, with PowerPoints and scripts to go along with it, as well as guided note sheets for the students and take-home pamphlets that would be provided for the parents.
And this project has been led by Teresa Swainer. She's really done a fantastic job. And this project's almost done. It's really getting there.
And this is an example of one of the lesson plans that the students have been working really hard on. So this is just how they've laid it out. We do not have the full PowerPoints yet. They're in process, but this is just an example of what we would expect to see for the 5 lessons. They've been really diligent about putting together some infographics that would go along in the course, because we don't want it to be so overwhelming that the young students wouldn't be able to understand. So coming up with infographics that are visual and easy to understand, they've been doing an excellent job at that. So again, some more infographics that will go along with the Educating the Educators course. We've also, well, the students have been doing an excellent job. This has been led by Christine Bolus, the Coaches Educating Project, hopefully in partnership with the National Federation of State High School Associations. We're hoping to, again, have this as a way to be put on the website so that coaches that are dealing with high school athletes could get trained on the athlete triad and what to look out for, almost like the concussion courses and other types of training that high school coaches have to go through. So this is just a general outline of what this coaches education project would look like, with 4 units that someone would have to pass in order to consider trained to work with high school athletes.
Yeah, and this is an awesome project because all coaches have to take some of these courses on this website. Concussion, you can see one, the first aid health problem, first aid health, and then fundamentals of coaching. These are some of the required courses. So we're hoping to work with NFHS to get our course as a required course. And Christine's doing a great job leading this project. If anyone's interested in getting involved, let us know. We'd welcome some help on this one.
All right. And then I think one of the last things, as I'd mentioned, we're going through trying to make some updates to the pages. One of the updates is going to be adding an additional page for mental health and the triad. This is being led by Emily Lundstrom, one of our other students, and a lot of the other undergrads are helping as well. So hopefully we'll have that soon. And I think that is the end of what I have to share. And I'll hand it back over to Mary Jane.
No, I think that's great. Thank you. Nicole's been doing a great job, and we welcome students from other universities. If you have students that you'd like to get involved with some of these projects, just let us know. We meet every week at 2:15 in the afternoon on Tuesdays, and most students attend. We make sure we accommodate everyone. So it's a very rewarding experience. So if you have students, please send them our way, or if there's any fellows that would like to join in, it'd be great. But I thank all of you that are on this call that are involved in helping us develop some of these materials. Nicole especially been doing a great job leading this effort. So thank you. Back to you, Aurelia.
Okay, thank you so much. I mean, this is really amazing. I'm so glad that we had the time to share all of this, and thank you for that amazing presentation. So, all right, well, moving on. Nancy Williams will now talk about our Barbara Drinkwater Formal Travel Award. But now, obviously, since it's not a travel award, it still is going to be awarded this year. And Dr. Williams is going to tell us about this special research award that we are.
Hi, everybody. Happy to do this. As you know, this award honors the legacy of Barbara Drinkwater and the work that she did on the female athlete triad. And we had it as a research award where the money was to help assist with travel to ACSM. And we looked at abstracts and picked winners of submitted abstracts that were accepted for presentation at ACSM. So last year with COVID, that got kind of messed up. And then this year, we didn't execute the award prior to ACSM. So what we'd like to do this year is offer 3 awards, $200 each, in recognition of quality abstracts that are around female or male athlete triad science. And I'd like to invite you to solicit individuals to send abstracts. You can send them to Nicole Strock for consideration. And then I will put together a group for reviewing the abstracts. And in the next couple weeks, we will solicit abstracts and we will choose the winners of these 3 research awards. So it's a nice way to recognize ongoing efforts, quality triad science, and honor Barbara Drinkwater at the same time. So please consider sending in your accepted and perhaps already presented abstract from the American College of Sports Medicine meeting, and we will consider it in our review process.
Thank you, Nancy. Is this something we can? I'd love to put it on our website so that those that are not that have not been able to make it today are aware, of this award. So that
I can also send out a memo after the meeting as well with the notes from the meeting and highlight that this award is being offered and encourage people to submit abstracts.
Great idea. And this is for all students, also fellows and residents. So keep that in mind as well. Next on our agenda is just revitalizing the National Society of Representatives for the Coalition. We've had that for many years. And we would like to see if there are those that are members that are interested in whatever organizations you're involved in. If you're interested, please do let us know. If you could send your interest to Nicole as our coordinator. And we would, again, like to, we also will, depending on how many people are interested, would also like to, ask other people that are in these organizations that are interested in the Triad if they'd be interested. If you could also let us know if there are other organizations that we're missing that are not on the list of the agenda. And that would be great if we could do that. Maybe we could also put this on either on the website, and maybe Nicole, that could be part of the memo, just asking for people's interest for being a representative. And, I would like to, also have that on the website for when we decide who the representatives are, to have that list on the website. That would be great. Mary Lloyd, are you still the orthopedic AOSSM representative?
Yes.
Okay, great. We need to get more orthopedic surgeons involved too. That would be great. But
we certainly do. And I think some of the educational tools that you're developing and an ease of getting to some of that to educate our residents. Just had a couple of residents write a review for the AAOS residency, so the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, and it was sex differences in athletes, and they did a great job. 2 senior residents did a great job just reviewing the Triad, and I think they really learned a lot about energy deficiency states and that type of thing. So I think if we've gotten it into the residency eyes, and I think if we can make it easier for them to understand awareness when they're training, that's very important.
Great. That would be great. And Marcy, I think you were AMSSM or ACSM or AMSSM representative, Suzanne Hecht as well. So we would just want to revitalize that. Let us know of your interests, and we'll move forward on that because it's so important to help spread the word. And this is one great way to do that, is to have representatives in all of these national organizations. I want to make sure that we have time for, again, one of the most important parts, which is our open forum. So why don't we go ahead and start the open forum? And we only have about 10 minutes. So would anyone, this is open for any of us. So would love to hear input from everybody, ideas, thoughts, what other things you'd like to do with our organization.
Well, this is Liz. It's maybe just a question for the group. And I'm sure many of you have seen some of the articles that have been recently published. One was in the New York Times just about 14 days ago, showing the rise of eating disorders during the pandemic. And, that's I'll just say that's been my clinical experience. I'm completely overwhelmed with patient care. And, so many, adolescents, both athletes and non-athletes, who have been so stressed with being at home. And for the athletes in particular, maybe not being able to participate in their sport and not being able to exercise as much. Therefore, you don't have to eat as much. And now they're returning to sport, and as some of the restrictions are being loosened, and we're in some tough spots, with people who have very low bone mineral density, very low BMIs, no periods for the past 12 to 18 months. I'm just curious with others on the call this evening if you have observed similarly. And I think it would be good for the coalition to put something out specifically that addresses, the rise of eating disorders during the pandemic, and how, as sport medicine physicians working with athletes, we should be on the rise for eating disorders and disordered eating, and how it contributes to the other stops along the triad journey, as we learned on our video today.
I've seen the same thing at UCLA. I would love to hear others' input, but we've definitely seen a rise during this time. It's been very, very concerning.
Yeah.
I have two, Liz. This is Marcy. I think one of the challenges we've had too is all of our mental health providers in particular are just totally overwhelmed right now. And I'm sure you guys are experiencing that too, is sort of just sharing resources is always something I'm thinking about with this group, like what programs are out there. I'm aware of the Victory program, but are there other sort of residential opportunities for athletes with eating disorders? I know we've in the past on the website had kind of a find a physician page, and I apologize if this is already present, but have we expanded that or discussed expanding that to sports nutritionists and mental health providers with some disordered eating and triad experience? Because that may be somewhere where we could expand.
That would be great. We still have some things in place, but we haven't really expanded on it. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
This is Andy Kusman. I think, we've had a similar issues at Stanford. And I think something else that would also be really helpful to pool would be additional resources. Like Marcy was saying, our mental health providers are also completely swamped right now. And especially as we head into summer, a lot of the college students' access to care is going to be interrupted as they go back to their home states. And so if there are additional resources like books that, have been vetted by mental health providers, I think that would be really helpful to, books or articles would be really helpful to compile as well to share.
That's a great idea. Now that Nicole, you said that you're going to have the mental health component, or we will have it on the coalition website. Maybe this could be one of the focal points since it's such a big issue right now. It's with COVID, so that would be a great idea for us to look at.
And I'll pass this along to the coalition group. The Alliance just came out yesterday, actually, with free recovery and also treatment support groups, because again, access is also, as we know, with equity, not something everyone can afford in terms of care. So I'll be sure to pass that along. And then I think to that, we're reaching a lot of people, many are who already are informed, but this idea of return to play, if they're going home, it's already rampant, they're already struggling. Many who haven't returned to school, they are home. So when they return to school in the fall, how are coaches aware, or sports medicine teams aware and ready to treat people who are showing up in a very different place than they left? And how are they considering that in their expectation and communicating that to athletes in terms of their understanding of the time it may take for them to whatever support they need, and those who aren't in full-blown eating disorder mode, but disordered eating, concerned about being in shape and what their body looks like and their ability to play at the same competitive level they were before COVID. So there's also that piece to it.
I think another thing that, we talk about, the triad from a condition perspective, of low energy availability and menstrual dysfunction and, low and impaired bone health. But there's also at a very minimum, a triad perspective when it comes to care, right? You have a medical provider, a sports dietitian, and a mental health provider, that are oftentimes helping people, particularly on the eating disorder side of things. But that's generally the group that's working with most, if not all, of our triad affected athletes. And I think what has saved my bacon, during the pandemic and prior to that, is really developing a network of professionals, within my community, and being very intentional to identify therapists, with expertise in this, males and females, those who have expertise working with athletes versus non-athletes versus professional women versus therapists who will do family-based therapy. And likewise on the nutrition side, that we have experts in pediatric nutrition, sports nutrition, eating disorders, have done care across the continuum in both residential and inpatient settings, as well as outpatient settings. And I think we could do even more through the coalition to talk about the importance of, particularly for, all of us, all the clinicians on this call, that within our communities, we're creating those multidisciplinary teams, because it is in fact having a team that allowed me to get my patients in for care. Whereas if a parent or a patient called on their own, the next available therapy appointment is September. My next new patient appointment right now is August. But if one of my team members called me and said, Liz, I really need you to see somebody, I'd add them next week. But it's because we've created this network. And I think, having those networks and being exemplars of that work for all the clinicians in particular on this, in the coalition, is really important, because we model that care delivery then to other people in our communities, and to the broader sports medicine community. I think it's really important.
Yeah, that reminds me of an aspect of the Collegiate and Professional Sports Dietitian Association, the CPSDA. They have a listserv that it operates through their website, and it's just a tab on their website, and it's for members only, but it does get disseminated through email. And so if it is a way of networking within the organization and within dietitians throughout the country, they see a certain case and they're, it's not a standard case, and they just post a question. And because there are, members who have, a number of different varied experiences, they can provide their input. And it's just a great way of coming together and learning from each other. And also just having that close connection within, in this case, it's collegiate and professional dietetics. But I'm wondering if there would be a way to have some sort of a listserv through the coalition website for members only, where people could, practitioners, clinicians could post questions, members could, converse, communicate, come together, share resources. That might be an exciting way to have opportunities for networking.
That would be, that actually that's a great idea. I'm sure there's an expense attached to that, but I think it's a great idea. So we can circle back to these wonderful ideas that are being brought up.
Could there be a survey? I have a question. Could there be a survey done of coalition clinicians, primary care, to increase awareness of this problem, because maybe the community primary care docs don't know what to do. And the Pediatric Orthopedic Sports Medicine Society had a thing about COVID pre and post and physician burnout. So you could do a little maybe quick survey that you guys could come up with and through the coalition, or just maybe some news article. New York Times could talk about, interview, Liz and you and the others on this call that are seeing it at the collegiate level to, know it's going to really happen at the high school level if it's going to be at the collegiate level. Just an awareness thing from this very, good society that has a lot of clout, or should have. That's a great idea. And also just, to start collaborating more on research projects together with our colleagues. Any other comments, or we can probably extend it maybe for another 5 minutes, but for those that need to go, and there might be other things that you have to go to, but how about if we extend it for another few minutes? Any other topics?
Liz and Nancy, do you guys want to talk a little bit about the idea of a community, a research community like you had shared with us, Liz?
Sure, I would be happy to. So I've been a part of a couple of research learning collaboratives on various topics. Gosh, dating back a number of years. This is something that ACSM has also picked up on. And we're now doing one for exercise as medicine. And Robin Stewart, Vice President of EIM, and Mark Stoutenberg, who's one of ACSM staff, they are leading this effort. And the research learning collaboratives are really to bring people together in a webinar format, to learn about research in a topical area, and to network with one another, and just to have a better understanding of what's going on, in the case of EIM, in kind of exercise is medicine. So it may have somebody who's looking at exercise interventions for cancer, or somebody who's doing an exercise intervention in patients with Parkinson's disease, or how do you implement a physical activity vital sign in a primary care practice. And so, you can sign up for all of the collaboratives. That's probably the best way to do it. And, you get an email, a week or two prior to the learning collaborative, so you know what the topic is. And if that's something you're interested in, you can join the collaborative for that. It's a 90-minute session and listen. And usually there is, around a 45 to 60-minute didactic, depending on how long someone's going to talk about a particular project they're doing, and at whatever stage of development it is. It may be a project in development versus one that is in the midst of collecting data, or it may be reporting on a research project at its conclusion. And then there is at least 30 to 45 minutes of discussion. And I've done, I presented on one of the EIM research learning collaboratives within the last 6 months, and there were like 80 people, from around the US, and, putting questions in the chat when I was finished, and of course, answering questions. And it was an incredibly rich discussion that led to a lot of back and forth. I, of course, shared my slides, and in hopes that, others, can pick up on some of the work that in this case that we were doing at Intermountain Healthcare. But I could see something like that being incredibly useful in, the female and male athlete triad research community. I think it would attract a lot of people, both in the US and globally. I mean, we have to be thoughtful of the time. They also can be recorded and then posted to the Female and Male Athlete Triad Coalition website. And maybe that goes in the members only section. Maybe it just gets posted on the website. But in any case, they are, I think, incredibly useful in terms of creating that community of researchers. So whether you call it a research learning community or a research learning collaborative. I think it accomplishes the same goals.
Thank you. Love that idea. AMSSM, for those of us, that are members of AMSSM, has done something similar to that as well. But these are all amazing ideas. I hope that we can, we'll plan on following up as best we can with some of them, and maybe we'll discuss them again at the executive board level and include some of this on the website. Nicole will follow through with getting some of this information out, including the ballots, and then the other information we discussed that we would circulate. Any other last comments before we end the meeting? Thank you so much for coming. But before we end, is there anything else anyone wanted to say?
Yeah, really, this is Liz again. I put this in the chat as well. But since we're talking about a kind of a research learning collaborative, we also at Intermountain have something called an ECHO program. And some of you may be familiar with ECHO. And it's not a cardiac echo. It's an acronym that's extensions to improve community health outcomes. And it's a all teach, all learn program that was started by a physician, a gastroenterologist actually at University of New Mexico. But we have been doing an eating disorder echo now for, we're coming up on, I think, 3 years. And we get about 50 to 60 people, generally from around Utah, who participate in the ECHO. It's done monthly. I did put a link to the ECHO in the chat if people want to check it out. But it's really around informing community providers. That's what made me think of it. I think Mary Lloyd was talking about how do we educate primary care physicians and other physicians in the community. And this is how we're doing it, is through the ECHO program. And we have a didactic presentation followed by some case presentations, and people on the Zoom platform interact with one another and comment on the cases and help other providers around the state. We are now expanding the ECHO into the Intermountain West. So we've had some folks from Idaho and Nevada join us, and somebody from Ohio, and there's actually only 2 eating disorder echoes in the United States, one at the University of Rochester, and then the one we have at Intermountain. But that's another way too, that I think, it doesn't mean that the coalition has to develop its own echo, or maybe we do. But anyhow, in addition to trying to create a community of researchers around the female and male athlete triad, I was just thinking this is a tool or process maybe where we continue to educate clinicians.
Love these ideas. Thank you so much, Liz, for sharing all of that. I think Kristen Billison is off now, but I did want to take the opportunity to thank ACSM for including us in the program website on the virtual platform, advertising our meeting, and as they do every year, but this year was a little different with the virtual platform. So thank you, Kristen, and to ACSM. Thank you to all of the current Nicole, our coalition coordinator, and all of the prior coalition coordinators. Many of them are here, and the students, for all of these wonderful things that you've done with the website and for all of your efforts with the coalition. Thanks to the executive board and for all of the members and those of you that are on this discussion today. It's been wonderful to talk with each other. I wish we had more time for this part, but and I'm rolling off as president, so I want to thank you all for this time, and I will of course be very involved, but I'll be rolling off and we'll be sending the ballots out shortly. So thank you all. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
Thanks for your
Thank you.
leadership.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Yeah. Mini Great Lakes Echo, or the Great Lakes Echo. Are you familiar? They just did a bone health one. I think it's on bone health. Are you aware of that one?
I'm not aware of that one. No, but I'm going to check it out.
So, and the idea there just might be having a guest come in to talk about the triad as it relates to it. So we're not creating our own, but.
Yeah. And likewise, I do the triad about once a year, or so, maybe every 18 months, on our echo. But I think, yes, networking with some of these related echoes would be a great way to get the word out.
Yeah, I'll forward that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.